I'm your host, Kelly Morgan, indie author and indie publisher. Welcome to another episode of The Author's Mic. Welcome to today's episode. Hi, everybody. Kelly here, indie author, indie publisher, and welcome to another episode of The Author's Mic. And you know it's Monday because guess what? We have a guest. I love it when people share this platform with me. That's what it's all about. Building a platform for indie authors where we can come and help one another, promote one another, and uplift one another. So today I have Arvida. Arvida is all the way from Sweden. I am horrible at pronunciation, y'all, so I am not going to try to pronounce Arvida's last name. I will let her do that for you. But Arvida has written a book of poetry. A lot of the books have been in Swedish, but this one, she says, is now the debut in English. So I am going to be quiet and I'm going to welcome you to the Author's Mic. Thank you so much, Arvida. Welcome. And thank you for coming and showing up. I know that our time zones are wacky, so thank you for showing up. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. In Sweden right now it's evening, but it's still very hot. And we're also in a time of the year where it doesn't really get dark in Sweden. My hours are all over the place anyway. So the
I
time
did
difference.
not know that about Sweden. It doesn't really get dark.
No, maybe on Midsummer's Eve is the peak, and further, I'm in the southern part of Sweden, but in the northernmost part, it doesn't get dark at all,
Oh, I
probably.
did
So
not know that.
it's
I learned
blazing
something
sun.
new about Sweden. Wow.
Yeah,
So go ahead and tell everybody,
sure.
about your book and just, your journey as an indie author, really whatever you want to talk about.
Mhm. Sure. So this book and my journey I've written poetry since I was about 15. So 15 years in, I have recently started doing that in English as well. And this book that is out, I wrote it first in Swedish during the pandemic when you had a lot of time to think, but not a lot of time to experience things outside of the house or outside of your social, very limited sphere. So it was written during a time where I came out of being ill. I had been ill for a couple of months, walking on crutches and doing an operation. So it was a time when you had to travel by mind a lot, and I had a lot of time to think lying in bed a lot. So I was thinking a lot about myself and my past, and I happened to be attending an online course in international feminism. So learning a lot about different struggles in different parts of the world, the different parts of what's essentially the same struggle for liberty, for a decent life against basically the same injustices, which is sexism, colonialism, new colonialism, and how they mix. So all of those thoughts were like coming to my mind, and I was looking up in different parts of the world. And at the same time came a realization in my own body that I was born. I was born in a man's body, but I identify as a woman, which struck me like lightning during this period. So piecing together my own past as well as the past of this world, noticing differences and similarities between the sides that I've um, pushed down in myself, and the same um, forces that has made me push down things in myself has also pushed down different groups of people around the world. So all of this came together. I wrote it first in Swedish and translated it. So now it's out. It's called Caribbean Wind, Polynesian Storm, and focuses a lot about Caribbean history, Polynesian history, and how they mix together, and sort of blames uh, white Christian nationalists all over the globe, especially Europe and what's known as the US and Canada. At the same time, it's an accusation of what these forces has done in the past and still does, and became even more probably speaking more directly when the Trump administration took over and do what they do right now. But at the same time, it's a love song to women and transgender people and people struggling of different creeds and backgrounds all over the world. So it's a hate and love song at the same time, but made from the same stuff and made from the same new source of words in me that I discovered during the pandemic and has been able to dive into even more, especially in the English language as well.
I think the pandemic and the whole COVID thing made a lot of people really become authentic to themselves, right? And really discover who they are. And once you discover really who you are, then you even have to decide if you like yourself, right? Because the pandemic caused us or forced us to spend time with ourselves. A lot of times, I think we fill our lives with distractions, right? So you really don't know who you are. But when you have nothing but time to think and kind of really marinate on who you are and really kind of figure that out and start being authentic to yourself, I think that's when real happiness has the opportunity to occur. Like real happiness, long sustaining happiness where you're not depending on others for that happiness. It's here, right? And so yeah, I think that poetry is a great medium to get thoughts out, right? I know that when I'm going through stuff, I tend to write very bad, very bad, sad, sappy poetry because that's when I write poetry, but it helps me, be able to go through whatever I'm going through and come out on the other side, right? Especially when you feel like you're stuck. Where is the book available?
It's on Amazon in 8 different countries, from Australia to India to countries in Europe, US, Canada, Brazil, Mexico. So
are you gonna have your other books translated into English?
I'm hoping so. Depending on the, I hope, success of this one. I've tapped into the English language, and it comes very easily to me, almost as easily as Swedish does. So I'm in a creative, my creative juices are flowing in the English language as well. So I hope that I will write more and be published even more in English.
Fantastic. And so if people want to reach out to you, find the book, learn more about you, do you have social media links that they can go to?
Sure. It's Arvida Svenske author. That's ArvidaSvenske.
And all the information will be in the description as well, so that people can definitely reach out to you, definitely get the book. Is it just on Amazon?
It was some other website as well. I'm not sure what it was called. I can post the link as well. But you can find it at my social medias. You will.
Fantastic. We will definitely make sure all the links are there. Arvida, thank you so much. Do you have a picture of the book? Can you hold it up? Do you have a copy?
I haven't had because of the Trump administration. I haven't been able to receive a copy because of the tariffs and things.
Well, a tidbit for you is to definitely take that book, that print copy, turn it into an ebook, a digital copy, so that you can send it out to people digitally, so that you're not waiting, right? So definitely having a digital copy of your book is another avenue. Especially most people can't maybe get a copy of the print book, or maybe they can't afford it, right? Or whatever the case may be. Like your case, you're having a hard time actually getting it shipped to you because of whatever the United States is doing with whatever, right? I'm
Yeah.
not, that's a whole nother topic. However, get an e-copy and then you don't have to worry
Yeah.
about it. So you
Exactly.
guys,
And I think it's available as well as an ebook.
yeah,
I know it's available. You
definitely.
can
So
get it either way.
I will definitely
Yeah.
make sure all the links are there. You guys, I got a laundry list of things that I always want to say. As always, if you are an indie author or a creative in this space, you are more than welcome to come share this platform with me. All the information is on my link tree and on my website. If you are an indie author or an indie reader and you love to support indie authors, we do have a book club. It's called the IRS, the Indie Reader Society. We support indie authors. If you're interested, pitch us. We might read your book. And then, of course, if you're thinking, I want to write a book, but I don't know how to get started, I have a free guide on my website, 44 pages of all the information you need to get your book out there into the world. And it's free. I don't, just go do it. Get your words out there because they matter. And then I just also want to call out if you're an indie author of color, especially we're underrepresented in this space. And so I always like to extend the invitation to you to come promote your book. Let's have a conversation. I just always want to do it. The author's mic is always for everybody, but I just want to call us out because we're just underrepresented in this space. All right, you guys. Arvida, thank you so much for joining me on the author's mic. I truly appreciate you for coming on. I'm going to make sure that all your contact information is in the description. You guys go out and make it a great day because I'm definitely going to try. Y'all keep writing.
Thank you for having me.